So in today's video, I want to talk about the most important skill and 3 reasons why you should cultivate this skill and why you should master it and why you should care. Now, before I get into what the most important skill is, I want to preface this by saying I personally acquired and then mastered this skill when I was only 16 years old, and this was essentially a substitute to formal education for me, and I'm so grateful today that it was, and I'll give you some results that this skill has produced for me to let you know how important this really is and why you should care and why you should want to acquire this skill and then eventually over time master it as well. For me personally, at the age of 16, acquiring this skill allowed me to really experiment and really get into different industries, work different jobs, and get different opportunities that I probably never would have had if I didn't have this skill and if I didn't continue to build on this skill and continue to master this skill. And what that did for me is by the age of 22, I made my first 6-figure year, which was, if you don't know what that is, over 100 grand income in a year. By 23, I had done double that, and by 24, I had multiple opportunities on the table, multiple offers from different companies and brands that were over 7 figures if I had gone on with any of those opportunities and accepted. And I gladly said no and refused all of those opportunities and proceeded to start my own ventures, and really not just for the fact that I want to work for myself and live a life on my own terms because I've mastered this skill, but also because I want to have a real impact. And I was thinking long term with where I want to go and what I want to do and the impact that I want to have on the planet, on people like yourself watching this, and on other people that, just like me, growing up didn't have the resources, the tools, the knowledge to get to where I've gotten to today. And you know, realistically, I had to fight tooth and nail to get to where I am and to get access to the right people, the right information to allow me to get to where I am. So I want to do my part and really give that back and be able to provide that information a lot easier and really share all the pitfalls in my own journey and, you know, what's worked for me and what led me to where I am today. So for those reasons, I gladly declined those offers. And at the age of 24, I had already generated $49.3 million in client revenue for the companies and brands and people that I had partnered with, and just amassed a lot of success, quote unquote, in that measure of success, in the monetary measure, because of this skill that I had acquired and that I had mastered. So all that being said, I hope you're excited to know what that skill is. So let's get right into it. So you might have already guessed it by now if you know me. The number one most important skill that I acquired and mastered at the age of 16 was sales. And when I'm saying sales, I'm referring to a multifaceted thing. It's not just to sell, because that in itself is, you know, greatly mistaken. A lot of people have misconceptions around sales and what it really is, what it really means, how it breaks down. And I want to explain to you, when I say sales, I mean selling, negotiating, and closing. 3 different factors, 3 different aspects of sales that all come together to allow you to really become a master, a true professional, and to get to all the results that you want to in your life, whether it's monetary results or whether it's results outside, whether it's your personal life. And I'll get right into that. So first things first, you just need to know the most important skill that you need to acquire and master at a young age is sales. So now let's get into the 3 reasons why you should acquire this skill and why you should master this skill. Reason number 1 is that sales is economy proof. And what that means is, regardless of what type of economy we're in, whether it's a recession or a down economy or COVID-19 pandemic hits like 2020 and a bunch of businesses shut down and get derailed completely, or whether it's a booming economy, sort of like the last 10 years that we've had, regardless of what kind of economy it is, sales is one skill that's economy proof. And I have examples of that, people that I know that I've partnered with, that I've worked with in the past in the sales industry. True sales professionals have been able to not only maintain their businesses and continue the way they've always been throughout the, for example, last economic downturn, which was the COVID pandemic, but they've actually been able to excel. They've actually been able to take advantage of the opportunity and really get ahead more than they already were. And that's because they have the skill of selling, negotiating, closing, and they can use that to really take advantage of any opportunity. Like any great investor knows, down economies, when there's recessions or pullbacks or, you know, an economic downturn, that's really an opportunity. Any great investor, if anything, looks forward to a down economy because it's just a chance to invest in businesses that you love at a discounted price. If you're already investing for the long term, or if you're working in a business or an industry for the long term, a down economy, a recession, just means it's an opportunity for you to get ahead. While everybody else is pulling back, while everybody else is in fear and scarcity, it's an opportunity for you to double down, to master the skill, and to get ahead. Reason number 2 why you need to master sales is that sales is industry proof. What industry proof means is that somebody who's a true sales professional, who knows how to sell, how to negotiate, how to close deals, can take that skill to any industry. Now, I'm personally a testament of this, and the reason I speak on this, and I'm allowed to speak on this really, is because I've personally worked in 7 different industries, probably more with the people that I've coached and trained and mentored, but personally myself, real tangible experience. I've worked across a multitude of different industries, in the fitness industry, in the auto industry, in the telecom industry, in the healthcare and medical space. I've worked in so many different industries, and the reason I've been able to do that, and more importantly, every single time be successful at it, every single time be a top producer, a top leader, generate millions of dollars of revenue in those industries, is because sales is industry proof. I've always said this, I believe this to my core, and I will always continue to say this, and anybody who's a real sales professional and a closer and has experience will agree with me on this. Product knowledge always comes second. So product knowledge is you knowing all the details about a car, you knowing how much horsepower the car has, all the different features and things that sell the car that your client or prospect might be looking for. That's product knowledge, right? Product knowledge comes second. The reason for that is product knowledge is easy to learn, it's easy to memorize, it's easy to understand and get a grasp on, and then be able to communicate back to your prospect. The harder part, what really matters and what really sells and closes deals, is the skill of selling. It's you knowing how to communicate, you knowing how to really present those features and benefits and what your prospect is looking for in that product, right? It's not knowing how much horsepower the car has, because that's information you can just do a quick Google search, or all these cars have manuals you can look and read and prepare for in advance. It's knowing if your client is even looking for how much horsepower a car has, if that's even a factor, a feature that they care about and that's important to them, and if that really solves a problem for them. So that kind of understanding, these different layers come from sales. They don't come from product knowledge. So when you have that deeper understanding of sales and negotiating and closing, you're really industry proof. You're really irreplaceable. You can't be replaced. You can go and have a successful career in any industry, and that's because you have the main thing, which is the skill of selling, negotiating, and closing. You know this important skill, and therefore you're industry proof. Your skill is industry proof. You can go into any industry, learn the product knowledge with due time, and become successful and reap the rewards that you're looking for. And reason number 3 why sales is the most important skill and you need to acquire it and master it is that sales is context proof. And what context proof means, what I'm referring to, is that it can be applied to any area of your life. It can be applied to different contexts. It doesn't need to be necessarily in a sales job or in a business. To be great at any area of your life, you need to become a master at sales. See, the common misconception is that only certain people are salespeople, or only certain extroverted people can be great at sales. The reality is we're all salespeople. Whether we like it or not, whether you like to admit it or not, we're all salespeople. Every time you're with your girlfriend or boyfriend and you're looking to convince them of watching a movie that you like over a different movie, you're selling, you're trying to negotiate, you're trying to close that deal. If you're a parent, you better be a great salesperson to have that kid listen to you and follow the rules and kind of apply what you're teaching. If you're a teacher, you better be a great salesperson to communicate your ideas and to be able to get your class to perform activities and to buy into what you're telling them and what you're teaching them. So in any area of your life, sales is absolutely mandatory. It's something we all naturally do. The only difference is only the professionals, the truly great ones, are the ones who admit it and are the ones who are proud of the fact that they're great at selling, negotiating, and closing. So sales being context proof means that it's not only beneficial to you in a professional setting while you're selling or you're conducting business, but it's also beneficial to you in any area of your life. To truly become great at any area of your life, you need to become a great salesperson and a great closer. So now you know what the most important skill is, and I hope that you take this information and you take the first step today in acquiring that skill. And if you're already in the sales profession and you already are familiar with sales and are somewhat experienced or trained, I hope that you take this lesson and really make it a goal of yours to master the art of selling, negotiating, and closing. And those 3 reasons again were: sales is economy proof, sales is industry proof, and sales is context proof. So you can apply it to any area of your life in order to have success and in order to get the results that you're looking for. All that being said, I'll see you on the next video.